Hi family, welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Yes, thank you for joining us for another exciting installment of Life is But a Dream with the Makhs. Guys, if you start seeing us starting to glow like halfway through this video, it is not the glory of God, it's hot.
I know.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
my name is Makhs.
And I'm Petola Makheta.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. If you are a regular, guys, we'd like to say thank you for your heartfelt messages. We see your DMs.
Yeah,
we see
so
your
many
words.
of them, right?
Yeah, we see your words of
Yeah.
encouragement. We see you affirming us.
Yeah.
You know, it is truly humbling for us. We do not take it for granted. We are really humbled. You know,
really
our hearts are full. Our hearts are really
And more than
full.
anything, just your engagement has encouraged us so much that
Yeah.
we're doing the right thing. So we're going to keep on bringing you great content.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what we want to do today, all right, is we want to speak about something. So many of us grew up watching fairy tales, right? Whether it be from Disney or like The Bold and the Beautiful or Generations or whatever, right? And this has been the narrative when it comes to relationships. That there's a damsel in distress, there's a princess, and there's a Prince Charming who shows up on a horse to save her life, and they're going to ride off into the sunset happily ever after. And what is the narrative? It's like, oh my gosh, you complete me, right?
You're
the yin to my yang.
and the piece to my
The missing piece to my puzzle, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens is we feel like we are incomplete as people, right? And then you come into a relationship and you put so much on the next person to complete you. So what we want to talk about today is preserving your identity in a marriage. How do you preserve your identity in a marriage, right?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
It was the summer of 2008. She said, I would the couple at a prom with a date. Now raise it glass, 10 years of matrimony on cake. We celebrate. Now we're stronger together, never better. Go-getters, trendsetters, Black Panthers, the anthem. We the Makhs and we only getting better, ayy.
Life is but a dream.
So the first thing that we want to look at is focusing on your own development. Guys, this is so important. It's crucial to self-actualize, you know. And I think in our marriage, coming into our marriage, I knew who I was. You know, funny enough is I knew who I was. You know, I thought I had it all figured out. You know, I was this girl who I just knew why I was getting married, you know, why I was getting married to this guy. And I thought I had it all figured out. But I realized that somewhere down the line, you know, I stopped focusing on my own growth, you know, and I was so obsessed with your development, with your growth, with you popping, you know, that
This is my ability to provide, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I understand what you're saying.
And babe, I love what you're saying about your ability to provide.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I had some time to think about why is it that in the beginning of our marriage I didn't focus so much on my own growth and I was so like obsessed with yours. I think it's because of fear. You know, the fear of you not doing as well as I had hoped you would do.
You know what's interesting? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you know what's interesting is some of the things that you used to say to me was, I don't want to make more money than you. I don't want to be more successful than you because I don't want to get myself into a place where I run the risk of being disrespectful to you or looking down on you because of me having a more powerful position financially.
But you know, funny thing is, not even running the risk. I think you know yourself as a person.
For sure.
So I'm gonna be very honest. Yeah. I'm not sure if I can be humble, man. Guys.
Wait.
Like,
are we talking about humility or I don't like this word submission because it gets tricky. So are you talking about a humility like to the world out there? Or are you saying
not to
like...
the world.
Oh,
not to the world. I think that kind of humility where...
Sure.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm like Beyonce kind of
For sure.
earning.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even talking like, you
Yeah.
know, I earn more than you
For sure.
in a few thousands.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking like levels
Like
here.
you're Beyonce
where-
and I'm Baba Baby.
no.
I love Papa Penny, by the way. That wasn't that wasn't like a
Yeah, that
I love
was
aye ngwana
no,
mina
like
aye.
Beyonce and
And then lesser and then not a Jay-Z.
yeah, not a Jay-Z,
Right.
maybe like
No, don't
Like an
like
Usher.
a not no wait, why you
or like
we
a,
know what we don't have to put a name, babes. We're just
like a
saying,
Beyonce and a Bow Wow.
wow. Where my dogs at? But yeah, I know what
So
you mean.
I think that really makes me nervous. It made me nervous.
Yeah.
I think because I'm not sure if I'm that girl. You know, I mean, I can you know really count on God to humble me and really trust that if I submit, you know, myself to God and the fears that I have to God, He will really obviously step in. You know, but I just really. Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know that my wife is the only woman that necessarily struggles with this. Let me tell you why. So I've seen this narrative happen over and over again, right? Woman comes into a man's life. She makes him, right? So what she does is she puts all her personal interests aside and devotes her life, her time, her resources, her energy into building this man, right? And then this man pops. There's a certain level of development that has happened in him. He leaves her behind,
Sure.
right? Now he's so developed, and now suddenly his surrounding has changed. The friends that he keeps change. The conversation is different. And then you wonder why the two of you are no longer walking together, which is why I've always been a big advocate. And I said to my wife a couple of years ago, I was like, my nigga, find your own dreams.
My
like,
nigga. Yo,
like,
I remember the
no,
day
I
you
said,
that
I was
to
like,
me.
babe, like you
why
are
are you this husband
my love.
that says things
Because
like that
I
to
love
to,
you.
to, to
You
his
know
wife?
why? Do you know why? Because no, it's very important, guys. I was saying it from a place of love. You have so much power. You have so much potential. You have so much, so much in you. When I see my wife like doing her thing, like in her office, she needs a phone, she needs email, she needs contacts. She's unstoppable, you know, and the idea that you're gonna dumb yourself down, you know, for the sake of
I don't even think it's dumbing yourself down, babe. I think, you know, like we spoke in our previous episodes, that a lot of who we've become and a lot of who we are is informed by mostly our upbringing,
Yeah.
you know. And I grew up in a family where my dad was, you know, making more than my mother, you know, and my dad would take care of the big stuff, you know, the house, the
cars.
you know, the big stuff,
For
you
sure.
know. And I think that was my idea of what, you know, what it should look like.
what's
Do you know what I mean?
interesting is-
And then for me, what
the alternative
was.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's why the alternative made me nervous, you know, to be like, you know, I need to push, you know, my husband, I need to support him, I need to, in order for him to do really well, you know, because I just don't know what it would look like if I did better than you.
Maybe familiarity breeds contempt, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe yes, I did witness a time where my mom, you know, was kind of holding the fort financially, like we spoke about in our other episode, you know. But honestly, even I was nervous about that. To this day, I still feel a responsibility to take care of the big stuff.
Yeah.
For me personally, not because of what society says, Lerato, me. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that is my duty. That is what I want to do. It makes me feel like I'm protecting my family. You know, my ability to provide for them is an innate need that I have to feel like I'm protecting them. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's the issue of being in my business. Like you don't like. I'm like, yo,
like I'm depending on this dream to work,
right?
Do you know what I mean?
And
Because I'm, and I think, you know what, babe, I'm really grateful that I know at the time when you said it out of frustration. When you said get your own dreams, I was like,
I didn't
yo.
say it like that. First
Yeah,
of all,
you
this
did.
didn't happen.
Okay.
Let's start there.
But you were like,
Yeah.
you know, babe, I really
yeah.
think you should get your own dreams.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
oh my
also,
God.
sorry. So
And-
I know you're gonna finish, but also I asked you what your dream was, and you didn't know.
And yes, at the time,
Yeah.
I think also because your dream was so exciting, you know.
Yeah,
your dream.
because I was like,
You know, like your dream was so exciting.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're an artist, you're a musician,
Yeah.
you know, and I had this idea of, you know, jet setting and whatever. And at the time,
which I sold you.
you know, and at the time I had figured myself out in terms of values and, you know, what I sort of want in a relationship, but I hadn't figured myself out in terms of purpose. My purpose.
Personal purpose.
My personal purpose, my personal dreams, my personal
Business
business
interests.
interest and vision.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a job. You
Yeah.
know, I had gotten my degree and I was working a 9 to 5, and I didn't know what the next steps looked
sure.
like. You know, and I'm really glad that you said that, because
Now you are.
not long after that, I actually took a leap of faith and went into business.
Yeah.
You know, and
Great business.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and it was really amazing. I learned a lot about myself. It just brought on a different type of focus,
And
you know,
and your
And I got-
growth, your
and then-
personal growth
and
was
I got off your
exponential.
back.
Yeah, cause noli busy. Only busy. Baby, babe, I'm in a meet. I can't talk. I'm in a meeting.
And I got off your back. I was
Yeah.
able to still be supportive,
Yeah, for sure.
but not hold on to your dream. You know, you had your dream, I had
Yeah.
my dream.
Yes.
And
And we could support each
Exactly,
other without being
exactly.
overbearing on each
Yeah,
other. But
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
absolutely. So, in light of everything that we're saying, I want to talk about the importance of checking in with yourself. You know, and that's the second thing that we want to talk about. So,
Yeah.
So for you, what does that look like? When we say, guys, be sure to check in with yourself every now and then. What does that look like for you? How do you check in with yourself?
So for me, checking in really means being true to myself. We spoke about it previously. I'm a huge advocate of therapy, you know, so
Yeah.
even if we don't go together, my therapist, my psychologist, if you want to call it, is my sort of my life coach, you know, and
Your
that's
sounding board.
my sounding board. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? And the reason I love therapy so much is that it's one place where, yes, I pray, you know, I love Jesus, I love prayer, you know, but I've also found so much comfort in therapy. You know, I think there's something about being vulnerable that sort of shows how strong you actually are
Yeah.
as a person. Do
For
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of strength in
yeah, there's a
vulnerability.
lot of strength and vulnerability, and I love that I can talk to someone who will not judge
you.
me. Do you know what I mean? And I can just really say whatever I want to say. That so for me, I can be honest about, you know, the deepest, darkest
Yeah.
feelings,
And you're allowed to be wrong.
and I'm allowed. What do you mean by wrong?
In that space, you're allowed to have had wrong ideas, and
Yes.
you're allowed to be recalibrated.
Yeah.
You're allowed to
Yeah.
be corrected.
Yeah.
You're allowed
Yeah.
to, you know.
And I
Yeah.
think because we live so much in our minds, I find that sometimes I figure things out. I would say something you know, and it would be so big in my mind, you know, and I would say it in therapy, and it would be like, it's actually
big
not.
deal?
Do you know what I mean?
It's not that deep.
Yeah. So for me, checking in is quiet time. You know, I love my quiet time in the morning and therapy. So for me, I do not compromise on those things.
I think the greatest nugget that I took out of what you said just now was honesty.
Yeah.
I think if we're real with ourselves, a lot of us really struggle to be honest with ourselves from a very young age.
Sure.
You know, especially when you get into adolescence,
Yeah.
it gets very confusing. The idea of identity, of self-actualization, those ideas of who am I, what am I about, and because you're trying to navigate through society and you're trying to navigate through friendships, you start to lose the essence of your being, right?
Yeah.
And then you fall in love. And when you fall in love, I was having a conversation recently and I was like, I cannot imagine what dating in 2020 looks like. Because it's man, it's so crazy. Like the world out there is just so, I mean, for us it was pretty simple. Like, you know, there's no difference between talking and dating and vibing, and like, there are these weird things, right? It was like you're dating, you're courting, you're engaged, you're married, you know, that's kind of it. But what I wanted to say was, your instinct is telling you that I don't really like this thing, you know, but for the sake of my partner, cool, let's go and watch that action movie, right? And you put on a show, you know what I mean? It's harmless, right? And you do things that you wouldn't otherwise, and you're trying to explore and find yourself and so on and so forth, but you don't realize that you're chipping away slowly at the essence of who you are. And because it's so difficult, like dating, you kind of, you know, I find a lot of people worried that, what if they don't accept me for who I am? You know, maybe if I was a little bit more this, or maybe if I was a little bit more that, and you can't just be true to really who you are, sensibly so. I'm not saying, you know, I am who I am. No. I'm just talking about just a really deep sense of knowing, you know, that this is who I am, and to have somebody who will love you for who and what you are, you know, that person that will love you. So, you know, I'll be honest, I wasn't completely truthful with my wife about who I was, because I was trying to impress her, you know. So she would express what she wanted, and I'd be like, I'm that.
And I think, and it's such a challenge though, because what happens is, when we're not honest with who we are, you know, people fall in love with the idea of who we are.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
With the fairy tale.
With the fairy tale. And then, you know, you can't keep that up.
No, you can't.
You know, maybe you can do it in the first year. You know. My mom.
But eventually you're gonna show up.
My mom was telling me that. So she had said to my dad that she doesn't want a man who drinks. And then my dad was just like, "Ay, nah, you know." After they got married, babe. My mom was like, right. 6 months later. This guy came home and lights out.
Like, what's happening?
Do you know what I mean? Because he couldn't keep it up. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very important to be
honest. That's what I was going back to.
Be honest.
Be honest with yourself. And if you're not at that place where you can be honest with yourself, be okay with being single. Guys, you know, being in a relationship is not an achievement. Being married is not an achievement. It's like people put this whole thing, hey, gispan, you know what I mean? So be okay with the person that you truly are. You know what I mean?
You know,
love
it's not
yourself.
Let me qualify. It's not an achievement, but it is, I think,
calling.
It's a calling, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things that God has created.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think, like you're saying, take time to figure yourself out. You know, because what also happens is that if you're not true to who you are, you're gonna burden your partner with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Zomshaying a surprise
exactly,
after
because
wedding.
what's gonna happen is that you're not gonna be able to put on this hold
front.
up with this front
Yeah.
and this facade.
Yeah.
You know, the after a while you're gonna relax and your true self is gonna come out, and you know you're just gonna stress one or more.
Yeah, so if you're into solo road trips,
Yeah.
be into solo road trips. You know,
yeah.
one thing that I was honest about, which my wife used to take really personally, personal space. I love just checking out. I need time. That's how I recalibrate. That's me taking care of self. That's me, you know.
And in the beginning,
refueling.
I thought.
You thought I hated you.
Yeah, I was like, this guy. This guy,
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is not sure about this marriage thing,
Yeah.
you know, because my
Well, I
idea,
wasn't sure.
my idea of marriage was just really, I don't know, babe. It was just,
It was a fairy tale.
it was, you know, and I thought, you know, we had to always be together.
Yeah,
We had to
staring
finish
into each other's eyes.
sentences,
Yeah.
and you know, you don't have to sacrifice your sense of self to invest in someone.
Yeah. Oh, say that again.
You don't have to sacrifice your sense of self to invest in someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
And yeah, and that freed me.
Yeah.
You know, that I could completely be myself. You know, pursue my dreams, pursue my, you know, my business interests, you know, and still invest in your dreams.
And interestingly, inevitably, then you've got even more to invest because you're constantly filling your cup.
Yeah.
And then you can pour out into the next person. And then you go back and you fill your cup. Now, if you're constantly giving, pouring, whatever, then you're empty. Then you're like, well, what have you done for me? And it's like, who asked you? Like,
And babe, you said something very chilling. You know,
today or once upon a time?
We were having a conversation, and you said men will always choose themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Or let's say we're better at choosing ourselves. But maybe I said men will always choose themselves.
You know, and because if I got an opportunity to go work in Europe,
that conversation. Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chances are, if you haven't found anything that side, you wouldn't come with me.
Yeah.
You know, you would say, babe, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, let me
While I figure myself
out.
Yeah.
And then once Dilo di Kopane, I'll join you.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, my first instinct is,
I'll drop everything.
of course, we're packing our bags,
Yeah.
girls. How wing?
Yeah. And bless your heart. It's,
Yeah.
you know, the intention is beautiful. Really. But now you're overseas, you've dropped everything for this guy. And then
But this guy's my husband.
no, okay.
Like,
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm just look. I'm
controversial.
No, I'm just saying that there needs to be an equal playing field.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a little bit of a feminist actually. In saying that,
No,
I'm
you
saying
are. You are.
I'm saying fetch your life,
Yeah.
fam.
No,
Like,
you've
fetch your life.
That's one thing that you've always said to me.
Yeah. Fetch your life
And
because
I think, sorry, babe, I think I'm a better person today because you always push me to fetch my life.
yeah.
You know, I think in the beginning it was to get me off your back,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, it has really changed my life.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
glad, and you're doing phenomenally well,
Thank you,
and you're
babe.
amazing.
Thank you.
And it was one of those things where you were pouring your resources and your energy and your spirit and your heart into me, and I was like, yo, the world needs to know how amazing and incredible you are. Your success or self-actualization cannot be hanging on the back of mine.
But what I also
needs
love
to
about
be-
where we are right now is
Yeah.
that we are able to work collaboratively. on
Yes.
different projects.
Yes.
You know, we can work on different projects, but
Yes.
still pursue our
Yeah.
own individual dreams.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
yeah,
we
yeah,
have,
yeah.
you know, businesses that we've started together.
Yeah.
You know, I've, you know, worked with Lerato on his, you know, PR marketing, you know, for his
yeah,
brand,
yeah.
you know,
And she's brilliant.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but I also thank you, babe, because you've started other businesses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, babe, I want to come on
Yeah.
board. And you're like, no, babe,
Yeah.
this is my dream. And I'm like, but baby, Ferguson's.
Yeah. And it's good. And you know what? And
I'm like, look at the Fergusons.
yeah, but
babe.
look what we're doing now.
You know? Yeah.
You see, look what we're doing now.
yeah.
And what's important to me is once you can truly be individuals, this is why, you know, in our title sequence, in that jingle, you know, we
feel
say
like I'm sweating.
we say
Am I sweating?
Yeah, I think we're both
Really?
sweating.
Am I
probably.
sweating?
So no, my love, you're
Okay.
good. You know, so so you know, we were intentional about saying we're stronger together. But you're stronger together when you're individuals.
Yes.
Because I know my wife's strengths, she knows my strengths. We don't
Yeah.
have to be the same. So when we come together, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you take care of this, I'll take
Yeah.
care of that. You take care of
Yeah.
this, I'll take care of that. You,
And a
Stronger
relationship
together.
strives when two strong individuals
yeah,
bring their,
Yeah.
you know, their qualities
and you get out of each other's
together.
way. You know what I mean?
You know,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right,
So, yeah.
shall we carry on?
Yes, let's carry on.
Okay, amazing.
You said that I haven't always shared this sentiment.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Sorry. So my wife comes up with the content, right? So this next point, we were driving in the car, we went to the mall, I went, I feel like we're gonna have a very interesting conversation around this.
So this
but-
next point
Yeah.
is so we're saying that it's important to maintain your own personal, individual friendships. You know, yes, it's great to have couple friends, you know, go on holidays
which
together.
we've been encouraged to do over and
Yes.
over by our mentors
Yes.
and by
Yeah.
couples that we love
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
way, but
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. You
Yeah.
know, have that. You know, because what that did for us was to see how, especially when we got married, we had a lot of older married couples,
Yeah.
and we learned so much from just seeing how they interacted with each
Yeah.
other. It was just the most beautiful thing. It wasn't like a marriage 101, do this, do that. You know, the way they just interacted with one another was
Yeah.
just so beautiful. But anyway, we're squirreling.
Yeah.
Ra ofrem pa.
Yeah.
Ra ofrem. Have
We're
individual
squirreling.
squirreling.
Individual, yeah. Sorry.
So have individual friends. You know, I don't have a big group of friends, you know, but I have those friends that are dear to my heart, that are close to my heart, that I can, you know, just really koshapa ke moya le bona, do you know what I mean? So you can't look to your partner to be that. Yes, we're best friends, you know, but I can't look to Lerato to give me what I can get from my
Yeah.
close,
From your girlfriend.
from my girlfriend.
It's like, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just found it interesting. I didn't ever really get that sense from you, not necessarily because we spoke about it, but because, you know, I think you know that my friendship template is very different. You know, it's I don't have those like oh, I grew up with these guys, you know what I mean, and whatever, you know, as I move through life, I'm a little bit of a nomad, you know what I mean. As I move through life, I make new connections and so on and so forth. But I think there's always been I always felt like there was a sense, kind of like what we spoke about when we were talking about can you have friends of the opposite sex. I kind of always felt like there was a sense of we are a family. I don't know, you know what I mean? And I don't know if
I think in the beginning, babe, I was just really
So
I think in the
but
beginning-
that's the thing,
in the
because
beginning-
I don't know when it changed. That's what I'm saying. I'm
It
like,
changed when I found my purpose.
Yeah, when you found
and
your
my
mojo.
dreams, and I found myself. You know, I
Yeah.
thought I knew myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought I had it all figured out, but when it clicked,
Yeah. Yeah.
you do know what I mean?
For sure.
But I've always had those friends, you know, but I don't think that I
Right.
prioritized those friendships when we met.
I hear you.
Do you know what I mean? I think when we met, guys,
She's my husband.
No.
Oh, my husband. My
Like-
husband.
like-
You show me,
guys,
my husband.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to look into this man's eyes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I still, you know, do
Yes,
now.
we still do.
We still
Yeah.
do now, you know, but I think it's more, it's grown folk love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it is
Yeah.
windy kind
This
of.
was always, and
You
this was
know?
always my thing. My thing was always.
Yeah.
I remember I used to say I don't know if I used to think it or if I used to say it.
Yeah.
I used to be like, or if I said it to my friends
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
But I was like, I want time to miss her. Like give me time.
Did you really say that?
I didn't say it to you.
But babe.
No, well, I can say today because we are mature today. You know, I'm like, no, I want time to miss. I wanna feel like, yo, hey guys, mutwaga man. No, gents, please wait. Time out.
Can you see what I can make it to that?
I can say that today because that's how I feel.
Wow,
I feel
guys.
like, but that's part of preserving your
Yeah, no, that's
individuality,
true.
your
That's
identity. You know what I mean? To be like, you're in a relationship with this person, you're in covenant with this person, you're a friend to this person, but even your best friend. Now how I navigated my relationships, I would have a best friend, not speak to them for, you know, because I was in and out of boarding school and whatever. So
Yeah.
not speak to them for like 4 months. The day I see them, it was as though we had seen each other the day before, you
Sure.
know, and we just carry on where we left off,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm another guy.
But you know, another thing,
Yeah.
sorry, babe, another
Yeah.
thing that really helped me, I think, was kids. Like, once you have kids,
Yeah,
like, you realize that you don't have time to yourself, eh?
we love them.
No, we adore them, you know, but
They're incredible.
they're amazing, you know, but you realize that, you know, so I think
Yeah, they're a lot.
after I had kids also, I was so adamant to really just get me back,
Yeah,
you know, get me back and
Yeah.
and
rediscover what me is.
exactly,
Who am I?
and connect
Yeah.
with friends, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So the fourth one we want to speak about is spend time with family without your partner, which I found very peculiar.
I do that.
You do that
I do that.
now. This is so.
But when
we
is this
okay? Wait,
now? When
we
does
do
this
that.
now
We
start?
do that now. But come on, babe. It was so. There were times in our relationship where you're like, babe, like let's go visit my mom.
Yeah.
Right? And I'd be like, negative. You can mark me absent, give me an F, right? I'll chill here. And you used to,
I'll
it
be like,
used to,
this guy hates my family.
do you know what I mean?
Like, what is
And I
wrong
was
with
like,
you?
no, like you are absolute. And so as a result, it made me feel weird about going to see my family and not.
Taking me.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You didn't express it, but it made me feel weird. So it felt very interesting to me that you came up with that point and you were like, guys, let's normalize, you know. And I was like, really? Which, by the way, I just want to say this very quickly, right? This channel is forcing us
Yeah.
to have conversations that we wouldn't have otherwise had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're having them, and I'm glad that, you know, she's written this because now I'm like, oh, okay, so we're on the same page about it, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when you put that down? What was your?
I just noticed just how happy it made me feel.
Yeah.
You know, like just going to my sister's house, you know, sometimes without you.
I know why. So
Why?
So I make a joke I mustn't make a joke about it too much because I don't want my wife to start getting offended. When my wife is with her family, my wife is the last born, by the way.
Yes,
she is a baby. So this is where I'm connecting the dots now. You see, because when I'm there now, there's a guy to look after. You see, now it's like, Lerato o jele, lerato o wabona ke Spani.
Yeah.
But when I'm not there, I
get taken. No, I don't think so. I think
not even a little bit.
No.
Okay.
No, because babe, you are very self-sufficient.
Yeah, very independent.
You're very independent. You know, you're able to fix yourself lunch, or
for sure.
Even when you get to my sister's place, you know, because we're family, you're able to hoist something together. So it's not really that, but I think for me, just being
away from me. You're allowed to say it. Guys, take a break. You know what? Go for breakfast alone. You're married and your husband is available or your wife is available.
Being away from me. Sounds wrong.
No, I know it sounds wrong. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
But take time to yourself. You are absolutely allowed to.
And we can talk about you without you being there.
And you can talk about me without me being there. You know what I mean? And I don't talk about you. But
really?
No.
Really?
No, I don't. I think we come from very different families.
Yeah.
You see, us talking about you is talking about you.
Like your family,
like my family, like we are.
Like this family is very put together, guys.
Yes.
Like very.
Yes.
We eat around the dinner table.
Yes.
Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we lay the table. And we have a family meeting. Yeah. So I think.
And then with us?
Yeah, well.
What?
No maini poza yam yonkintipi awasha. You know, which I love. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So talking about you is in my household is very different to you, like talking about me, you know.
Yeah.
Ole, you know.
The other day,
I'm great.
The other day they were like, okay, Google Ranch. My cousins were like, okay, Google Ranch.
Yeah.
You know, we're very chilled.
Yeah. Mad chilled.
So
you know. I'm really glad we had this conversation.
No, me too.
It was really cool. I think I learned 12 years later. I still learn. I think I've learned more about you in the past couple of weeks
than in the entire 12 years.
As far as where you are. You know what I mean?
I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
I'm in a very good place.
Yeah.
And it took growth, man.
Yeah, for both of us.
You can't manufacture these things. You know?
I'm sorry, can I? Am I allowed to say this?
What?
Guys,
tell me.
No, it's fine. I'll just filter.
Yeah.
I want to say this.
Yeah.
Né? If you are young in marriage, it is okay to not be okay. They say the first year is, we had a couple of years of a little bit of a rocky, so just pull yourself together. It gets so much better. And beyond better, it's rewarding, it's fulfilling. It's like, it's one of those things where when you put the work in, you actually get a lot out.
And I think, babe, that's why we say, especially with all the points that we spoke about today, you need support, because I think sometimes marriage can get a bit lonely. Yeah. Especially because do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yes, you and I are together in this marriage, but we are individuals pursuing our own dreams and our own passions, and so that's why it's so important to be yourself, to to self-actualize, you know, and to plug into family, to plug into friends, you know, to plug into
your passions,
your
dreams.
to plug into church life,
Yeah,
you know,
plug
get
into-
busy, do you know what I mean?
get busy.
Get busy.
Yeah.
Get busy, but have time for one another. And I
Yes.
think one thing, babe,
Make
that
time
make
for
time for one another. And I think one thing that I want, you know, I don't want people to sort of misunderstand this message and to be like, yeah, I'm my own person.
yeah.
So no mayini.
I'm glad you said that.
This, your own interests and your own dreams and vision and hobbies and whatever, you know, they still need to glorify God. Do you know what I mean? It can't be a case of
Wow.
be strong.
You know,
no, man, babe. But do you know what? Example.
Yeah.
Example.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
someone could say, for me, this is doing me. Do you know what I mean? Or someone saying, I'm going away with the boys for like a week and just be strong. Do you know what I mean? So it's
wife
important.
will be like, what time are we leaving? I need a pack.
It's important to
Yeah.
get your partner's blessing. It's
You
important
need to be aligned.
Exactly, and it is also important for
values,
you
your vision.
to glorify God. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Your interests and your dreams can't be a bone of contention
And-
in your relationship.
Yes, and it needs to feed into the vision and purpose of
Do you know
your
what I mean?
marriage.
And babe, like I think
spoke
one of the biggest our biggest thing was when you know, we've always said that my husband wants to get a bike. You know, you are an adult. Do you know what I mean? You could have gone and bought yourself a bike. Do you know what I mean? You didn't really need my permission, but you wanted
But I
my
wanted
blessing.
your blessing. Yeah.
It's not about
For
permission; it's about blessing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very important that we should say that, you know, as a parting shot, you know,
Yeah.
to say, you know, do not neglect your partner's needs in your pursuit of, you know,
No doubt.
striving,
Yeah.
you know, to preserve your identity in a marriage.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah. I'm really happy I'm married. Yeah.
Aww.
I am. I love
Why
you.
only sweetie so? Love
Guys.
you.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys. We love you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
Thank you for
much.
joining us
Yeah.
once again for an exciting installment. Life is but a dream with the Makhs, guys. Remember to subscribe,
Please.
share, like,
Yeah.
comment below
Comment.
like you always do. Your comments are great.
Yeah,
Your
we
interaction.
love
We
them.
need to start shouting out people, babe.
Nah.
Yeah, our next thing, guys, we're gonna
Okay,
start shouting
okay,
because
next
we've
week-
got yeah.
Next week we're gonna start shouting.
Yeah,
out
we're gonna start
people.
shouting out people because
Yeah, yeah.
you guys are really showing love, and
Yeah.
we've got regulars. We know this
Yeah,
our pissy, this
yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. I love you.
I love you.
We love you.
We love you.
And we will see you next time. Peace and blessings, people. It was too real. This is Life is But a Dream with
With
the
the
Makhs.
Makhs.
Peace.
Bye.
Life